When I was 16, I landed a job at one of my favorite clothing stores. There was a very responsible 19-year-old man who worked there with me. Dating amongst coworkers was strictly prohibited, but nevertheless, we went to a couple of movies during the 6 months that I worked there. He was a perfect gentleman, and he didn't even so much as hold my hand, much as I wanted him to. We were both so shy. Many nights after work, we would sit in the parking lot and talk for hours about our lives and just nothing in particular before I had to drive home to keep my curfew. One night, when I got home, I remember telling my mom how wonderful this young man was, and that even though I was only 16, and even if it sounded corny, I could see myself marrying him one day. That amazing young man was Morris Charles Whittle, Jr., or as most of us know him, Charlie. Charlie and I lost track of each other and our lives went in separate directions, but I never stopped thinking about him, or the fact that I still thought about marrying him. Many times I wondered where he was, how he was doing, and if he was married or had kids. Thanks to Facebook, Charlie and I found each other again in 2010 and began messaging and texting each other. I asked Charlie to play softball with a team that I played with occasionally. I said this was because he was good at baseball, but really, it was just because I wanted to see him in person and get to know him again. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rachel Whittle, and Charlie was my husband. Charlie proposed to me under the fireworks on July 4, 2012, and we were married on October 20th of the same year. Today, we are here to celebrate Charlie's life. In case everyone here doesn't know, Charlie was a very accomplished person. He was a fantastic bowler and enjoyed hanging out with his bowling friends. These people, who I see seated here today, held a very special place in Charlie's heart, and he often referred to them as his bowling family. Thank you all for being so good to him for so many years. Charlie bowled many 300s and 800 series. For those of you who don't know much about bowling, as I didn't when we first got together, that's really good. Charlie had a blast bowling with his friends, but he also took his hobby seriously and dedicated himself to bowling well, not letting his teams down. He also bowled in the Junior Olympics. He was always so excited for me to go with him, and I loved accompanying him to his travel league meets all around West Texas. I'll never forget all of the special people that loved Charlie and helped make his hobby so much fun. As it turns out, though, Charlie was good at a lot of things. Really annoyed me. How could he be so darn good at so many things? As many of you probably know, Charlie played baseball his whole life, and even in college for Howard Payne University and for West Texas A&M University. Unfortunately, Charlie suffered a shoulder injury that ended his baseball career. However, his love of the game never left him, and was one of the things I loved so much about him, and was a passion that we shared. We were both huge Texas Rangers fans. We planned to one day visit every Major League Baseball park in the United States. Unfortunately, we never got to fulfill that dream. Maybe I'll visit them in remembrance of him. I think he would love that, actually. He was also a great golfer and loved golfing on the weekends with his cousins and his friends. Thanks to all of you for sharing those times with him. He treasured them. And of course, we can't forget his love of Xbox. He's also quite skilled at this hobby. If only our internet could have kept up with him. He's also an amazing poker player. He was also a wonderful family man. He loved his family so much. He had great respect for his parents and always talked about how great they were growing up. He loved his sister and her husband and their children. He was a wonderful uncle, not only to Hannah and Josh, but to my nieces as well. All 5 of these kids loved Charlie so much. They just worshipped him. In fact, all kids did. And not just kids. My own dogs decided he was their favorite before we were even married. I can't say that I blame them. He's pretty awesome. Charlie also meant the world to my family. He was immediately accepted into my family, and they loved him dearly. My parents were so thrilled when we became engaged. They were so happy that I had found such a wonderful person who complimented me so well and had such character. I remember my mother telling me that she was so happy that I would finally know what it felt like to be loved by a caring, God-fearing man. Charlie was the love of my life, and I miss him terribly. But I know that he would hate us all fussing over him. The man couldn't even stand people buying him birthday and Christmas presents. He would hate all this attention. Charlie was an amazing person, husband, uncle, son, brother. and friend. He touched the lives of so many, and we will always remember his outgoing, fun-loving attitude. Charlie never met a stranger, and I know where he is now. He's talking up everybody he possibly can. In fact, he's probably telling Jesus a funny story right now. Thank you all for coming.